What if I told you that the single biggest mistake you make when trying to get someone to do something is telling them what to do? That command you gave your employee, the rule you laid down for your teenager, the gentle suggestion that was actually a criticism of your partner. We think we're being clear and direct, but in reality, we're just kicking over a beehive. And we're about to find out why that's the fastest way to get stung. If you've ever felt frustrated that people don't listen, that your instructions are ignored, and that you have to fight to get even the simplest things done, then this video is for you. We're going to dive into a 90-year-old principle from Dale Carnegie's masterpiece, How to Win Friends and Influence People. That is more relevant today than ever. By the end of this video, you will have a simple but profound framework for getting people to do exactly what you want, not through force or manipulation, but by making them want to do it. You'll transform from someone who gives orders into someone who inspires action. Let's start with the fundamental flaw in our approach. Dale Carnegie opens his legendary book with the story of Two Gun Crowley, a notorious criminal and cop killer in the 1930s. When he was finally cornered in his apartment, he wrote a letter. Do you think it was a letter of apology, of remorse? No. He wrote, "Under my coat is a weary heart, but a kind one that would do nobody any harm." Crowley saw himself as a good person who was misunderstood. And he's not an exception. He's an extreme example of a fundamental human rule. 99 times out of 100, a person, no matter how wrong they may be, will not criticize themselves for anything. Criticism is futile because it puts people on the defensive. It wounds their precious pride, hurts their sense of importance, and arouses a deep and lasting resentment. Think of it like this: every person's ego and self-esteem is a beehive. When you approach with criticism, demands, or condemnation, you are taking a giant stick and whacking that hive as hard as you can. What happens? The bees don't suddenly decide to start making honey for you. They swarm and they attack. In a work context, that attack might not be literal. It's passive aggression. It's malicious compliance. It's the employee who says, "Okay, boss," and then does the bare minimum. At home, it's the teenager who slams their door, or the spouse who grows cold and distant. You kicked the hive, and now you have to deal with the swarm. The original goal, getting the honey, is completely forgotten. So, if rule number 1 is don't criticize, condemn, or complain, what are we supposed to do instead? Point 2. Become a detective, not a judge. The opposite of judging someone is trying to understand them. Instead of immediately concluding, this person is lazy, they're being difficult, or they never listen, you have to switch your mindset. You have to become a detective. A judge's only job is to determine guilt or innocence. They listen to the facts only to pass a verdict. A detective, on the other hand, seeks to understand the why. They are driven by curiosity. Why did this happen? What is the motive? What's the full story here? Let's take a modern example. Imagine you're a manager and your employee, Sarah, has been turning in her reports late for the past 3 weeks. The judge approach is to call her in and say, "Sarah, your reports have been late again. This is unacceptable. You need to get them in on time. I need you to be more responsible." How do you think Sarah feels? Defensive, resentful. Her beehive has just been kicked. She's now thinking of excuses or blaming other factors, not on how to solve the problem. Now let's try the detective approach. You call her in and say, in a calm, curious tone, "Hey, Sarah, I noticed your last few reports have been a bit late, which is unusual for you. Is everything okay?" See the difference? You haven't accused, you've observed, you haven't condemned, you've shown concern. You've opened the door for a real conversation. Maybe Sarah is overwhelmed with a new project. Maybe she's having issues with the software. Maybe something is going on at home. You can't solve a problem you don't understand, and you can't understand if you start with a verdict. Quick question for you. Think of a time you tried to get someone to do something and it backfired. What was your approach? Let me know your story in the comments below. Point number 3. Frame it in their self-interest. Okay, so you've avoided criticism and you've used your detective skills to understand the other person's perspective. Now comes the master stroke. This is how you actually get them to change their behavior. You must frame the change you want in terms of their self-interest. The only way on earth to influence other people is to talk about what they want and show them how to get it. Carnegie tells the brilliant story of George Johnston, a safety coordinator for an engineering company. For years, he struggled to get his workers to wear their hard hats. He tried the judge approach. He ordered them. He threatened them with being fired. He posted safety rules everywhere. The result? Grudging, temporary compliance. The second he turned his back, the hats came off. Then he tried a new approach. He found a few workers without their hats and approached them with a pleasant tone. He didn't order them. He asked a question. "Gentlemen, are these hats uncomfortable or not fitting properly?" Often the men would admit they were a little uncomfortable. Then Johnston would use the magic of self-interest. He'd say, "Look, I understand, but this hat is designed to protect you from serious injury. We hired you because we think you're a smart, capable worker, and we want to make sure you go home safely to your family every night. This hat is the best tool we have for that." The result was immediate and lasting. The workers started wearing their hats without being told. Why? Because Johnston stopped talking about what he wanted, compliance with a rule, and started talking about what they wanted, to be safe, to avoid injury, to provide for their families. He connected his goal to their self-interest. This is the formula. Acknowledge their perspective, then connect the desired action directly to a benefit for them. The conclusion. So let's recap the framework. When you want to get someone to do something, you need to resist your natural urge to command or criticize. First, remember the Beehive Principle. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain. It only creates resentment and blocks all progress. Second, become a detective, not a judge. Approach the situation with genuine curiosity. Ask questions to understand their world and their why. And third, once you understand, frame your request entirely in terms of their self-interest. Show them how the action you want will help them get something they want. Here is your challenge for today. Just for the next 24 hours, I want you to go on a criticism fast. Every single time you feel the urge to criticize someone, at work, at home, online, I want you to stop. Instead, just ask one simple question to better understand their point of view. That's it. Just try to understand. If you found this valuable and you want more timeless wisdom for leveling up your life, do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video. Thanks for watching.